about why we're in Richmond and what's going on there. We are planting Garden City Church in Richmond, where we are seeking relief on earth through Christ so that we can walk with God in the city of Richmond as Adam and Eve did in the Garden of Eden. And as church planters, we are focusing on building a network of house churches who will also then meet together as a larger body. And we're focusing on house churches simply because we've seen that lasting and effective discipleship happens in those smaller groups. And so we want most of our energy to go there, while also having a larger gathering for celebrating our God for who He is.
So our partner sending congregation is Eastside Church in Harrisonburg, Virginia, and we were there. We were members there for 6 years after college, and we were doing college ministry with them when in 2016 we felt God calling us to move to Richmond to plant Garden City Church. And so Eastside and VMMissions helped equip and resource us and train us to be able to go to Richmond and plant a church. And in August of 2018, we moved to Richmond, and we felt God inviting us to put our roots down in Richmond South Side, in the Blackwell, Manchester area of the city. So we moved into Richmond South Side in August of 2018, and we've fallen in love with the city. When we first felt called to Richmond, we didn't know anything about Richmond, but we started to read and learn about it and visit it, and we just really fell in love with it. And we can't imagine living anywhere else right now. It's become our home very quickly, and we're really happy to be in Richmond. So we moved in 2018, and we're part of the Eastern District of the Virginia Mennonite Conference. And so some of y'all have probably heard us speak before through your churches. Maybe some of y'all are supporting us, partnering with us, and some of you individually too, I think, have partnered with us. And so thank you for partnering with us as we're doing this. It really means a lot. And thank you too for those of you who have been praying for us. We've heard from a number of people who have emailed us or just let us know that when our names come up on the Virginia Mennonite Missions prayer calendar that they're praying for us. And we can't do it without your prayers. And so thank you so much for the ways that you've partnered with us in that. Ever since we moved to Richmond, we've been bivocational in the city. Right now we're working jobs in the community, and then we've also invited other people to partner with us as well. And there's a lot that we could say, but what we want to focus on today is just sort of the way that God's been faithful during the pandemic, during COVID time. Since all of us are familiar with that, we're all still figuring it out. So we want to share just ways that God has been faithful for us during this time. After a little over a year of living in Richmond, we had developed some relationships with people in the city that we thought would be a good fit for being on the launch team of Garden City Church. And so we planned out a 9-week resourcing time to go through with them. And this resourcing time had two purposes. And one, it was to equip the people participating to better join God's mission wherever they live, work, and play. And two, it was an opportunity for the people joining to discern whether God was inviting them to join the Garden City Church launch team or to simply participate in what Garden City Church will be doing as we go forward. So we had mapped out this 9-week resourcing time, and we scheduled the first one for March 14th this past spring. And so if you remember March 14th at all, March 14th was the day that the governor of Virginia put in the shelter-in-place or stay-at-home order. So very quickly, from the first thing that we were ever going to do as the church, we had to pivot. And we delayed the first week of resourcing time by a week, and we moved everything online. And so we had our first gathering online. We went through the first 9 weeks online, and it was just never in our wildest dreams did we think that we would be planting a church online. But that's the way that we ended up having to do it. And God just was faithful during that whole time. And we were able to get to know people and introduce people to each other online and develop deeper relationships with each other. And the focus of our time was talking about neighboring. A lot of it was talking about how to be good neighbors. And a lot of the ways that we normally would, like taking cookies to our neighbors, like you can't do that when you're not supposed to leave your house for anything other than grocery shopping. So we had to think of a lot of creative ways to do that, and the people that were joining us just had wonderful ideas, and God was very gracious to us in developing our relationship with the other people online, and for all of us to learn how to better join God's mission everywhere that we are. And so out of that time, we did have one person who committed to officially join the Garden City Church launch team, which is super exciting. And he is somebody, he's older than us. He's been a Christian for quite a while now. And he's been in a number of different cities and church experiences and expressions. And he had felt God calling him to as one of his pastors had said, do the Bible, rather than just learn the Bible, but to do the Bible. And so he felt God calling him to focus more on his neighborhood and doing work in his community. And so we were put in contact with him, and ever since we got to know him, we've just really been on the same page of what God is calling us to do. And it's really exciting to see him grasp hold of the vision that God's given us for Garden City Church, and it's become his own as well. And we're excited to partner with him going forward with Garden City Church.
So following this resourcing time, we got to start House Church online. And again, didn't expect to do that. But the structure that we had talked about doing for a house church also worked well online. So we do read Psalms for praise, because we're not singing right now because no one's doing that. And we are praying for each other, but the basic structure is that we do a 10-minute teaching and talk about it as a group. And we found that worked really well online because people could engage. It wasn't just that they were watching something, but they were able to share thoughts and insights, and we learned a lot during that time too. And about a month ago, we got to move all of this to our backyard. And so we spread out chairs, socially distanced, and do the same thing, the same structure in person. And that has just been so rich. And what we've noticed is that more people are showing up in person than did online, which is just evidence of the way that people are wanting to engage with each other. I think especially during a time when they haven't been able to engage with other people. And so that's been an encouragement to us. And just want to encourage you all as well. If there are people who you're like, maybe I should figure out, like, ask them how they're doing. Yes, ask how they're doing, because lots of people are wanting to be engaged with deeply during this time. And lots of people have been open to talking about spirituality and their understanding of God. And we've just been so encouraged, even though some of the pivoting has been really frustrating. Some of that has been frustrating, but we, on the whole, have just been encouraged at the way that God has been able to use this time for His glory. So looking forward, we are planning to keep essentially repeating these things that we've been doing. The resourcing time, we can do it again as we meet new people who would want to join the launch team. And we can, out of that launch team, we're wanting to equip other people to then be able to start new house churches. And so those are repeatable things that we want to use to grow this network of house churches. And God has been so gracious to put us in contact with people who can help us develop this, who can help us get a broader picture of what is happening in Richmond, because it's not just our little pocket of the world. God is at work in Richmond, and so we've gotten to talk with other pastors and other leaders in the city who can share what God is doing for them as well. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for writing and for doing what you do for Virginia Mennonite Missions. We wouldn't be doing what we're doing without Virginia Mennonite Missions, and not without you all as well. And so thank you for the support and joy and encouragement that you give to us and to people like us who have felt God's call on our life and want to do something with that. So thank you for your time. Thank you for hearing us today. I think Abe is going to come up and pray for